Alright, what's going on everybody? This is Z3 here back with a brand new video. First, I'd like to preface saying this is my second attempt at recording. The first one was nearly finished with explaining this campaign, and lo and behold, I had forgotten that if you pull up a certain feature, which is the ranking, the game crashes. So we're going to have to go through this again, and I'll explain my campaign in Total War of the Elder Scrolls. In the last video, we did the main campaigns and its DLCs. As I said previously in the last video, that I would also cover all of the modded playthroughs. I originally was going to put all of them in one video, but seeing that the last video was almost 15 minutes long, I realized that that would not be prudent. So I decided to split up these modded videos within the specific genre that they're in. And since I only have one campaign of this, we will go ahead and start off with the Elder Scrolls, which is set in the same universe as video games such as Skyrim, Oblivion, Daggerfall, Morrowind, and so on. Also want to state that this game has a really cool feature in the beginning, is that when you start up the game, it has a in-game cinematic scene that introduces you to the mod, so to speak, and it's really cool. There's some pretty epic music and really gets you in the mood to play. Another thing I'd like to mention is that this game features two different eras. The third era is the Oblivion Crisis, Emperor Euro Septim. As you all know, this is the same emperor that introduces himself to our character in the Oblivion game and is assassinated. And then in that game you go on to stop the Oblivion gates from opening, and the evil of the, I guess, Elder Scrolls version of hell on the plains of Oblivion. Runes Dagon, I think, is the correct term. He's trying to bring in the evil of the Oblivion creatures into the real world, and you have to stop him. And there's even this faction here, Dumner's Curse, Lord Dagoth who is like an evil necromancer, I guess. Oh yeah, the heart of the mountain. Anyways, they're like an evil Dumner faction. And then the fourth era, obviously, is Stormcloak Rebellion. So let's go ahead back out of this, and let's load the game. As we play as, you probably guessed it, Stormcloak Rebellion. And let's hope that it does not crash this time. We'll make sure not to pull up the ranking. Alright, let's go ahead and do a toggle file. You can see the map down here in the bottom left. Looks a bit different than when we started off. So let's go ahead and talk about where you start. So as a Stormcloak Rebellion, you start off obviously with Windhelm. And then here you have Riften, Winterhold, Dawnstar, and these two small villages here of Ivarstead and Darkwater. Now, originally, you do not start off at war with the High Kingdom of Skyrim. It's going to be over here. However, at around turn 5, you can opt to declare war. One of the first things that you want to do, there are these two Orcish fiefs, and they start. One of them is controlled by the Orcs. The other is a neutral faction area that you can take over. So one of your first, obviously, goals, current mission is to take one of these fiefs. Now I did so, and then I ended up gifting it to the Orcs in return for an alliance, and they accepted. So the Orcs had these two lands right here, and yeah. So I started building up my faction at Windhelm and Riften, and started building up Winterhold and Dawnstar. As you can see, they produce quite a bit of gold. So does Windhelm, so does Riften. Another one of the very cool features of this game is that there are also special neutral sites that if you capture, you get an army for free. So, one of the first things you need to do is gather your first fighting force and blitz all the way up here, the island of Solstheim. Right here will be the clan of Redoran, and here will be the clan Helvani. And if you're not quick enough, the Helvani or the Redoran come up here and capture Skull. If they capture Skull, you will then no longer be able to recruit this army here, which is this army of the Skull Warriors. And so once you take this, you then get this army for free, which is very powerful. And then if you have fighter skills in any city, you then get to recruit Skull Warriors. The same can be said about Fort Dawnguard. As you can see here, this initial line at the top is the free army you get. It's Isron, the leader of the Fort of the Dawnguard. And then if you come to Windhelm here, since I have built a Fighters Guild, I am now able to recruit Skull Hunters, Warriors, and Dawnguard forces. Now, one of the coolest features that we've seen that I'll cover in a bit, let's go ahead and start with our progress. Now, one of the first things that we did, obviously, instead of fighting the High King of Skyrim in the Civil War with the lore as expected, we were actually attacked by House Redoran. They attacked us through Blacklight here in this strait. We also were attacked by House Tavani. Luckily, we had captured Skull, and Stormcloak Strider, the leader of the Skull people, were able to utilize this army to capture Thirsk and then defeat the Tavani at Telmithrin and capture Raven Rock and secure Solstheim. And he pretty much, for a couple turns, don't have to defend this against raiders, but eventually they gave up. And then, of course, Redoran attacked us, and so we decided to delay our civil war and sue for peace, and actually end up at first having trade rights with them because we wanted to take out House Redoran first. One of our first goals was to bring up Ulfric Stormcloak and his Faction Heir second in command over here, Galmar Stonefist here, that you can see in the game when captured Blacklight. And then began moving down south, capturing Solthus, Solgrad, and then going across New Guinness, this place, Bleak Rock, and New Balmora, and the House Redoran was defeated and destroyed. We were able to secure alliances with the other houses of the Demner and secure peace on our border. And it was then that we moved attention to reclaiming Skyrim and bringing peace and freedom of religion, as well as removing the Thalmor influence and the thumb of the Imperial Milk Drinkers, and we did so. Our first battle was against Helgen. Actually, they took the first attacks as they came up from this northern pass here from Whiterun and began attacking Iverstead. Luckily, we had built up a decent garrison under the guise of Hjorn Headsmasher, and through his leadership we were able to beat back some forces. They came back with a third army, I believe, and at that time we had been marching our forces, which was, I think, a total of 3 armies. They saw our armies coming and they absolutely dipped. Helgen had a very small garrison. We defeated them, and obviously being at war with High King of Skyrim also had us at war with the Empire. There was this Pelgrass Ruins, which was controlled by a neutral faction of the Undead. I sent in Ulfric Stormcloak. Well, these guys held about right here in Helgen. He captured it and left a large garrison. As you can see, the Empire did attack us once or twice, but were unsuccessful in getting past our ruins. That's why there's such this big force here, because if they would been able to get past here, they would have had immediate attack to our flank as we pressed on to Riverwood. There were 3 or 5 battles before we even actually sold the Riverwood itself along this river. It was a strong chokehold, but we were able to push back our enemies and then move on to Whiterun and take it, and from there to Fort Greywood. And then we split up our army in 2 into Falkreath and Fort Greymore. And then we also had our armies from Dawnstar and Winterhold, who were holding out here, finally move up and take Morthal. They were under the leadership of, let's see, a Star Carnbreaker, as well as the Jarl of Winterhold. And then this guy, sorry, not this guy. Who am I looking for? Oh yes, Skull. So they were the Northern Force were attacking, and then they obviously have moved down here. We'll go into why they're down there in a second. Moves up, took Morthal, took Rorikstead, took Krethwazgan, Dragon Bridge, and then eventually took Solitude. And the High King of Skyrim was no more and was defeated, and we have brought stability, union, peace, religious freedom to Skyrim at last. However, our war has not been finished. Now, before we continue with our thing, I will add something very, very cool. We come here at around turn 10. A very unique figure came and joined us. And you can see before you here, this is one other than the Dovahkiin, the Dragonborn character in which you play in the game Skyrim. So we had the strongest guy, one of the strongest characters in the history of the entire lore, as one of our generals. And he's obviously very, very powerful. As you can see before him, all of his forces are from the Fighters Guild. We have different knights of the different gods. Lily, Circle. So super strong forces, and then we have the Skull, who obviously would have joined his fight when he freed Solstheim from Iraq. And the Dawnguard, obviously, when he helped them defeat Harkon, the Vampire Lord. So we had that guy. So he was a big help when he recruited his team. We also have this guy, Many Marco, the King of Worms, who is a snow elf necromancer, I suppose, and his army of undead. If you're one of the strongest factions, he will declare allegiance to you and help you because he feels as though you are fit. I'm not too sure what's going to happen at the end. He might betray us. I don't really know because I haven't really ever played this before. So he was another help. He was crucial in attacking Dragon Bridge and Solitude. Up here, we have the Castle Volcair, another neutral site that you can claim and then get access to vampires. That's right. Instead of killing Harkon, Harkon is now one of our generals. And you can also even recruit vampires and undead if you so choose. However, it greatly reduces the happiness of your fiefdoms, so I'm trying to keep that. Once Volcair hopefully continues to grow. As see, it's at 0. But yeah. So we were allied with the orcs. Probably going to gift them this kingdom eventually. As you can see, we were also being attacked by the Empire, and that's why we have 3 armies down here.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in
They would attack us along this road through the woods. We built a fort, and we were able to push them back time and time again. Until eventually they sued for peace, actually I think 2 times. And each time they would then go back against that peace and declare war upon us again. And each time we would beat them back. Now that we have been at peace for a while, let's go ahead and go back to the east. As you can see here, if we look at this map, things have changed. As you can see here are the Argonians, all the way up here. And they have declared war on virtually every single Dark Elf faction, as we know in the lore. The Argonians and Dark Elves do not like each other one bit. So the Argonians have sought revenge, and have already almost defeated one faction up here, the House of Dres, which used to own all this area down here in this part of the map, but have been beaten back. And there's the Indramil, who are slowly losing lands. They have kept this area here, however, I feel as though that it will fall soon. Actually, they are allied, so they are allied with the Black Marsh and have betrayed their own kind. That is very interesting, to say the least. And this faction here, Sadras, we have allied with them. They are their last line of defense. They have been beaten back by the mighty Black Marsh. They have a huge army, huge forces, although being not very strong. they have the numbers in there. They're kind of like orcs in Lord of the Rings. Large forces, just not very strong. And so they also declared war on us because we had captured this Red Room fort. And that's why we have a Greymane. Obviously, the clan of Greymane from Whiterun is here, as well as a second in command who has a lot of dread because instead of ransoming, we have been executing every single Argonian that we capture in war. And we have had numerous battles up here, and we have tried to defend Kraganmore, defending this area over here, and then retreating our armies to this choke point here up on the bridge because they cannot pass this river. So we hold this bridge until they send more forces up here. See, there was a great battle here, another great battle here, more great battles up here, a lot of great battles that have been fought. So a lot of bloodshed in this area right here. And so we were just holding on for dear life. That being said, we now have two options. We could send the bulk of our forces all the way across Skyrim.
We are the true sons and daughters of Skyrim. Fine, let's go.
That guy is, Anyways, so we could send our forces all the way up here and trying to push back the Argonians, reclaim some lands, give them to the Great House of Sandres, and then try and sue for peace. Although I'm not sure. I feel like the best bet here would just be to hold out for as long as possible because I have another plan in mind. Instead, my next plan is to attack the Empire and seek revenge. They are actually at war with our allies, the Orcish, who've actually been able to defeat. As you can see here, this used to be all Redguard land in this area right here. And both Redguard factions have been destroyed. One being destroyed by the Orcs, the other being defeated by the Elderberry Dominion, the Alakir. You can see here's the Alakir village somewhere. Alakir village right here. So both Redguard factions have been destroyed, as we know in the lore. They were one of the very last factions to fight against Elderberry Dominion. In fact, in this game, Skyrim, rumors spread from like reporters who travel into Skyrim that the rebellion is alive and well against the evil elves. And here's Darkerfall, High Kingdom of Plainrest, and yeah, so the Orcs, at first, we're not doing so good, but they've been able to bounce back. There's also this undead faction here that we might take eventually, I'm not too sure. But our main plan is to finally take revenge against the Empire. As you can see, bulk of their forces are up here. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 strong armies attacking our Orcish allies. If we look at the Orcs, if we look at the Orcs, they are at war with just the Empire. So they are being attacked in their home, in their territory, rather, by the Empire. Which means that all of this is up for grabs. They have one decent army here. Do they have any other decent armies anywhere here? No. So they're all pretty much the entirety, well, there's one force right here. The entirety of Cyrodiil is left undefended. And so it is our time to strike. What we will do is we will send a force. Probably Jarl Ulfric
I'd be a lot warmer and a lot happier with a belly full of
the Dragonborn. And maybe one of the Jarls through this gap, through the Pelpass ruins, attack Bruma, and then slowly and surely march around and take these cities, and then march right here and hold. We will also send our other armies here, and here, and hold this, and we will wait. And then we also try to take Sanctor, because if we can take these two factions right here, they do not have, well, they have another way, but one of the main ways of getting back to Cyrodiil we've blocked off. And if we can send another force here, and maybe take Tornhole, and then set up a fort right here. Yes, they have some avenues of success, but it will be very hard for them to come back, because what's going to happen is, once we start attacking them, start taking factions, they are going to be like, oh shit. And so half the forces are going to try and blitz all the way back, and they will meet our forces lying in wait. And they will hold the line here while they're doing two prongs of war, trying to come back home and stop the invasion of their homeland. Meanwhile, the orcs will then be able to have some breathing room and then continue to attack and beat them as they're trying to retreat. And then we will take the Imperial City, and the Empire will fall assuredly. When the Empire falls, this will make us far and away super strong, because we will have all of Cyrodiil to contest with. And then our next goal, obviously, I would say would be then to take care of Black Marsh if they aren't already beaten. Maybe align again with these factions. Maybe try and take out this house and get the Telmari and the dress in return for alliances, and then push back the Argonians, and then maybe sue for peace. And then we will move on and beat back the Aldmeri. I'm not too sure if I want to capture the Shivering Isles, or if I just wanted to kick them out of mainland Cyrodiil. So that is what's been going on. Pretty cool. Actually, another cool tidbit is if we go to Markarth, as you can see, it is being held by the orcs. And in fact, Man and Cow, the Mad King, so the Reachman, has captured Markarth and reclaimed it for his people. And that's cool, that's whatever, I don't really mind. I know it's one of the fiefs of Skyrim technically not united, but that's okay. So that, in a gist, what's happened. We have reclaimed Skyrim, we have defeated House Veteran, and now plan to move against Cyrodiil while their backs are turned. So very cool. And this is just two more series. Next up, we will be taking on, and I will be showcasing you my campaigns in Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. I hope you guys are super excited for that. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment down below. If you are a fan of Total War and have had a pretty cool experience either in this mod or any mod in particular, I would love to hear how it happened, and you can tell me your story and your campaign in the comments down below. Or if there's any mods that I have not played before that you recommend and want me to play through and showcase, I will do so. Anyways, again, thanks for watching. Please do leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and for more content. I have a lot more content coming. Instead of just Total War, I have a lot more content planned in the future. And again, I want to thank you guys for all the support that's been going on my channel. And I really appreciate the new subscribers, the new watchers. It really means a lot to me. And also, I forgot to mention this because I mentioned this in the first video that didn't go as planned. Thanksgiving was last week. I hope all of you really enjoyed the weekend. I hope you got to go home, spend time with family, be thankful for your loved ones, eat some really good food. Hope you recuperated over the weekend for the food coma, and all the plates, all the food I'm sure you ate. And then I hope you got home safe and sound. I hope the rest of your holidays is enjoyable, because obviously winter is upon us, so please do stay warm, and Christmas is on the way. I hope you are not going crazy with Mariah Carey's All with Christmas is blaring everywhere and anywhere. Anyways, again, thanks for watching. Just have a great week coming up if you're watching this week. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. This is Easter 3, signing out.